hits my consciousness, and it impassions me to have a viewpoint. You know, I'm just I'm a good friend. You know, I don't then take it lightly, and so I know that after I get an education from you with regard to, let's say, fair trade, and what was the other one with the birds? What was that?
Oh, bird friendly. There's a
Bird
bird
friendly.
friendly certification.
Okay, I didn't know about the bird friendly, Jennifer. Did you know we had to be Okay, I love birds. I just put together a makeshift bird bath, and I see how happy they are in these hot Florida. So yeah, so I think I've got to know about the bird friendly.
Good. So I'll explain about the bird friendly.
Okay,
first.
while we're on bird friendly, let's find out what bird friendly is.
Good. So bird friendly certification is done by the Smithsonian Institute. They have been doing research for many years on the migration of birds. And of course, I mean, a lot of people know, like, you know, there are birds that actually migrate from Canada all the way down to Central and South America where coffee grows and then go back, right? So we all get to experience these birds. Like, it's one thing to say, like, oh, that's something that happens in another part of the world. But to some degree or another, these birds do fly over us. They are a part of our universe. And so these birds, now imagine you have a coffee farm. A lot of people think, oh, okay, good. So it's a place where, you know, sort of like a cornfield or something, right? Like it's all leveled, there's no trees, you grow the coffee plants, and then you go and you pick them, and that's the way it is. That is how a coffee plantation can look, but that's not how coffee naturally grows. Coffee likes shade. It likes to be around other plants. There's a whole ecosystem when something grows. And if you've ever been someplace where it's kind of wild, like out in the forest, and there's all these things growing, and it's teeming with life. There's a whole planet there.
Sure.
You have all this shrubbery, and you have, like, you know, the ground cover, and you have different kinds of insects and animals.
Sure,
and so
there's
forth.
even insects that without them opening the flower buds, they don't open.
Exactly.
Like peonies.
Right.
People don't realize that in New Jersey I had peonies and ants. Well, actually, I'm like, one day I went, why are there always ants? Why are there? And someone said, oh, they open up those tight buds. I'm like, oh, so simple as that.
Right. So the Smithsonian Institute created the bird-friendly certification for farms that meet very specific requirements, one of them being the height of their trees.
Oh, wow.
And that helps protect the birds and make it so that the birds have a home to go to and so forth. But it has all these other ramifications, like the fact that when you grow naturally that way, by the way, all bird-friendly coffees are also organic. Like, that is a requirement.
Makes sense. Sure, because the birds are going to put some time in on those trees, and so if the chemicals are there, they're going to be picking them up, and it could damage them.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's other aspects to just growing something naturally, then you're saving the environment and protecting the environment for many generations to come. One problem with anything that you grow, that you farm in that industrialized type fashion, is that with using the pesticides and even just like not having the trees and so forth, that soil is going to stop being able to produce plants.
Sure.
And then you have to
It's
like
dead.
do things
Becomes
to
dead
it.
soil.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then you have to do things to it to regenerate it. And so on many farms, they, you know, take a piece of land and then they move their crops somewhere else, and then they put certain kinds of ground cover on that, and they let the ground rest. Well, when you actually grow something naturally in the ecosystem that it's supposed to grow in, you don't have that.
Right.
So these farmers, when they pass on, you know, it becomes this family farm that passes on generation to generation. You don't have a generation that's going to end up with like, oh, how we can't grow anymore.
Sure, and that's all. And then on top of it, that's all they know, or that's all that's possible for them to make a living at, and then suddenly they can't do it because of that.
That's right. So the bird-friendly certification, make sure that it is organic, which of course the best way to grow organic is in the correct ecosystem. Then it, you know, creates homes for the birds that come there. As well, the farmers get extra funds. Like, they actually can charge more for their coffee, and they get extra funds for that to ensure that they keep the trees at the height that's needed and so forth for the birds.
Sure, because it's going to require different equipment, more people, so this way they get an exchange back, which is good, and then it will behoove them to do that.
Right. And then a portion of what we pay to be able to put that label on our coffee goes towards more research on bird migration.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
A whole different little microcosm of the universe that I did not know about. That's awesome.